Good afternoon, everyone. Hope everyone's doing well today.
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
Good afternoon, Judge Morrow. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing well. How are y'all doing today?
Wonderful, wonderful.
Good. I'm ready to go whenever you are.
Yeah, I was trying to wait for the ladies to come around, but I'll start anyway.
Okay.
We're gonna start with position number 2, Mr. Caldon.
Good afternoon, Mr. Caldon. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state court expedited accusation calendar that we are conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes.
Thank you. Mr. Caldon, you've been charged in case 22 CR 001086B with battery family violence. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
The second arrest, 2016 suspended license.
Afternoon, Ms. Arnold.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. The state is recommending a $4,000 surety bond with a stay away from 500 Chamber Woods Drive in Roswell. No further contact with Rosie Caldon. Rosie spelled traditionally, Caldon spelled Caldon. A one-day anger awareness and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons. Your Honor, this incident happened yesterday at the Chamber Woods location. Officers were advised that the defendant was fired from his job about 30 minutes prior to the altercation. When he got home, the defendant went into the master bedroom where his wife, Miss Rosie Caldon, was sleeping. The defendant pulled the covers off of her, grabbed her by the hair, and pulled her off the bed. After that, the defendant began to strike Miss Caldon in the head several times. Officers were able to observe that Miss Caldon had a swollen lip with slight bleeding. And they also observed defensive wounds on the defendant's forearm. It should also be noted that it was mentioned in the report that officers have been dispatched to this location for a similar incident prior to this incident we're here for today that happened yesterday. We do believe that the defendant will reoffend based on the fact that officers did state that they wanted to make note that they have been dispatched to that location before for an incident of battery family violence. So based on that reason, Your Honor, we are requesting the $4,000 surety with the conditions as stated.
Has your office spoken with Ms. Caldon?
Your Honor, I'm sorry, just give me 1 second. I believe we have, we did try to attempt contact with her, but we just had to leave a message, Your Honor. We were not able to.
Thank you, Ms. Gann.
Thank you, Your Honor. I will be requesting a signature bond on Mr. Caldon's behalf. Mr. Caldon does not have any violent history and he disputes the allegations. Furthermore, regarding reoffending, my client has never been convicted of any violent crimes. What is in his history is a driving offense. Mr. Caldon is 47 years old. He is a long-term Atlanta resident. He has his wife here along with 3 children who reside in the home. The children are ages 17, 14, and 12. At this time, Mr. Caldon does not have an alternate address. Therefore, we are opposed to the stay away. I did reach out to Ms. Caldon as well, but was unable to get in contact with her. I left the voicemail message for her. Mr. Caldon has completed high school and he is now unemployed. Prior to becoming unemployed, he worked for 2 years as a cook in a family business. At this time, he is unable to make a bond. And for these reasons, Your Honor, I am requesting a signature bond. And again, we're opposed to the stay away. And if Your Honor is not inclined to grant that stay away order, then a one-time law enforcement escort to retrieve his belongings, as well as third-party transfer so that he can continue to see his children. Thank you.
Okay, it's going to be a $3,000 signature bond through pretrial, one-day anger awareness class. At the present time, since no one's spoken with Ms. Caldon, there's going to be no further contact with Ms. Caldon, which necessarily means he's going to have to stay away from the 500 Chamber Woods address. He can have a one-time escort to retrieve any belongings and third-party contact for visitation with his children. If Ms. Caldon is spoken with and she desires something different in the future, of course, this can be modified. No drugs, no alcohol, no weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Mr. Caldon.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Your Honor, next we have position number 4, Ms. Cephas, position number 4.
Good afternoon, Ms. Cephas. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state court expedited accusation calendar that we are conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Ms. Cephas. You've been charged in case 22 CR 0010888 with battery family violence. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
A third arrest. Last was back in 2020 for obstruction. 2017 obstruction. She got first offended. So one obstruction was Gwinnett, the other one was the cab. That's it.
Ms. Arnold?
Yes, Your Honor. The state is requesting a $3,500 surety bond, a stay away from 8390 Roswell Road, apartment Q in Sandy Springs. No further contact with Tony Williams. Tony spelled Tony, Williams spelled traditionally. A one-day anger awareness course, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons. Your Honor, we are requesting this bond based on the facts of this case where the defendant struck Mr. Williams with a glass lamp and also scratched him on his shoulder with her nails. We are concerned for his safety, Your Honor, so we would be requesting that bond with the conditions as stated. Thank you.
Has your office spoken with Mr. Williams?
We did call, but we again had to leave a message.
Okay. Who's representing Ms. Cephas? Ms. Kim or
Your Honor, my understanding is that that is a conflict case.
Your Honor, we didn't have a conflict attorney for today.
Yeah, we didn't have one yet. I just got an email from Mr. Michael Jordan. Let me double check.
I will represent myself.
Yep, we didn't have anyone available today, Judge.
Yeah, we don't
She's
have
been in-
one.
she's been in for 3 days. Ms. Cephas, let's see, you have a right to remain silent. Anything you say can be used against you. You have a right to have an attorney present at these proceedings. If you cannot afford an attorney, one will be appointed for you. It's my understanding that a conflict attorney has been appointed, but is not available for you today. Would you like to proceed on your own, or would you like to wait until tomorrow until an attorney can represent you?
I would like to proceed on my own.
Okay. In that case, Ms. Cephas, again, I'm going to let you know that you have a right to remain silent. After hearing what the state had today to say, it's going to be a $3,000 signature bond through pretrial, which means that you're going to be able to sign yourself out, ma'am. A one-day anger awareness class, no further contact with Tony Williams, and stay away from the 8390 Roswell Road address. You can go back to that address on one occasion with law enforcement to retrieve any belongings that you may have there. And there's no drugs or alcohol or weapons while out on bond. Do you have any questions for me, Ms. Cephas?
I just would like to say that 8390 Roswell Road is my home address. He does not live there.
Okay. If Mr. Williams is not at that address, Ms. Cephas, then you can go back there. If he happens to be there, then you can't be there because you're going to have no further contact with him. You understand?
Yes, sir.
All right. Do you have any other questions for me?
No, sir.
All right. Good luck to you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Your Honor.
Yes, ma'am. Ms. Arnold.
I'm not sure if I heard it, but if she's going to return, can we make it that she goes to see if the victim is there with the police escort, just so that we don't have any issues with contact?
That's reasonable. So the first time you go, or when you go, Ms. Cephas, you're going to have a law enforcement go with you. If he's not there, then you can stay. If he is there, then that's going to be your one-time escort to retrieve your belongings. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Good luck to you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Y'all got position number 7, Ms. Drummond, position number 7.
Good afternoon, Ms. Drummond. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we are conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes. Sorry.
Thank you. Ms. Drummond, you've been charged in case 22 CR 001091Y with simple battery family violence. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
No.
So, excuse me, Ms. Arnold?
Yes, Your Honor, the state is requesting a $2,500 surety bond. No further contact with Mauricio Drummond. Mauricio spelled MAURICIO. Drummond spelled DRUMMOND. A stay away from 585 McWilliams Road, Southeast in Atlanta. A one-day anger awareness and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons. Your Honor, this incident happened yesterday at the McWilliams location. Officers were advised by the defendant that her husband, Mr. Mauricio Drummond, was hovering over her while she attempted to maneuver around the house, and trying to block her from going upstairs. So the defendant admitted to officers that she slapped Mr. Drummond, ripped his shirt with her hands, threw water on him, and then went inside the guest room. And that's where officers found her when they went into the home. We were, based on the facts of this case, Your Honor, we are requesting that bond. We were able to speak with the victim in this case, and he advised that they are married and that they do live together and that they do share one child. He did state that this is not the first time this has happened. However, he would prefer that there be no further violent contact, Your Honor. But because this just happened yesterday, we are concerned that there has not been enough time to cool off, Your Honor. So we are requesting that there be no further contact at this time. Mr. Drummond did mention that he would be on Zoom. So if you would like to sound for him when you're ready, Your Honor. Thank you.
Ms. Gant?
Thank you, Your Honor. Today I'm requesting a signature bond on Ms. Drummond's behalf. She denies the allegations, Your Honor. She states that she was merely trying to get away from Mr. Mauricio Drummond, and that she felt that he was about to harm her. Your Honor, we are opposed to the stay away. This is her residence. She is on the mortgage. They are married, and I was able to speak to Mr. Drummond. He informed me that he wants to have no violent contact, which is the wish of my client as well. So therefore, I'm asking that Your Honor not grant a stay away, but instead a no violent contact order. Ms. Drummond is 39 years old. She has been in the Atlanta area since November of 2020. She has a 17-year-old daughter, and she also shares a 2-year-old son with her husband, Mr. Drummond. They've been married for 3 years. Your Honor, Ms. Drummond has a master's degree in public policy. She is currently employed at the New Georgia Project, where she is the Chief Developmental Officer. She has been in that position since May of 2021. And again, for these reasons, Your Honor, in light of her negative history for any convictions of violence, I am requesting a signature bond. Thank you.
Mauricio Drummond, if you're on the line, this is your opportunity to speak to the court if you desire to do so. If you do, I'll need for you to unmute yourself and activate your camera. Having not seen Mr. Drummond, it's going to be a $3,000 signature bond through pretrial, one-day anger awareness class, no further violent contact with Mauricio Drummond, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Ms. Drummond.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor.
I'm sorry, Your Honor, what was that bond amount?
$3,000 signature.
Jail or pretrial?
Pretrial.
Thank you. We have position number 8, Ms. Durham.
Good afternoon, Ms. Durham. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we are conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes.
Thank you. Ms. Durham, you've been charged in case 22 CR 001099F with simple battery, family violence, and criminal trespass. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
No.
Ms. Arnold?
Yes, Your Honor, we are requesting a $2,500 surety bond for count 1 for simple battery, family violence. and a $1,500 signature bond for count 2 for the criminal trespass, for a total of a $4,500 split bond. We are asking that there be a stay away from 4133 Alveston Drive, Alveston spelled Alveston in South Fulton. No further contact with Christopher King, a one-day anger awareness, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons. Your Honor, this incident happened yesterday at that Alveston Drive location. Mr. King advised that he and the defendant were in a disagreement about something that she saw on his phone showing signs of infidelity. The defendant returned to that address with a U-Haul truck. And while she was there, she became irate and began pushing Mr. King repeatedly. Mr. King also advised that the defendant began breaking items in the home, including a picture frame. The defendant told officers that Mr. King was telling the truth and admitted to pushing him because he was cheating. So for these reasons, Your Honor, we are requesting that bond based on the facts of this case. We were able to speak with Mr. King, and he did inform us that the defendant was in fact in the process of moving out of the residence, and that they do share 2 children together. And because of that, he is requesting no violent contact. However, he would like a one-time law enforcement escort for the defendant to retrieve her belongings. And just again, Your Honor, we are concerned since this did just happen yesterday. So we would still be requesting that there be no further contact. And he said that he would be on Zoom as well. So if you would like to sound for him, you can when you are ready, Your Honor. Thank you.
I see Mr. King there. Let me go to Ms. Gant first, and then I'll come back. If Mr. King would like to address the court, we'll allow him to do so. Ms. Gant?
Thank you, Your Honor. Today, I will be requesting a signature bond on Ms. Durham's behalf. She does not have any prior criminal history, and she denies the allegations. In fact, she states that she was there at 4133 Alveston Drive to retrieve her belongings, and that he initiated contact with her. At this time, she wants no contact. We are requesting a one-time law enforcement escort and a third-party transfer so that Mr. King may continue visiting his children, as I understand that she is the primary caretaker. Ms. Durham is 32 years old. She has been in the Atlanta area for 2.5 years. She is the proud mom of 3 children, ages 11, 6, and 10. She shares 2 children with Mr. King. That would be a 6-year-old and also a 10-month-old. She does have an alternate residence. So again, we are unopposed to the stay away. She has completed high school along with some college where she studied medical assisting. She is currently employed at Tilly Services. I apologize. Let me back up. She is unemployed. She was employed at Tilly Services. However, she lost her job because she did not have any childcare. She does not have the means to pay bond at this time, Your Honor. And again, based on her history, I am requesting a signature bond on her behalf. Thank you.
Mr. King, if you would like to address the court, I'll need for you to raise your right hand for me. Do you swear affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You can put your hand down, Mr. King. What would you like to tell the court?
This was just a one-time thing. Long as me and her been dealing with each other for 7 years, it never got to that point. I did call just because for the safety of us both, but she never acts like that. So I really don't want to see her in any kind of trouble. She's never been in trouble before, and we do have kids together. So I think it was just one of those spur of the moment things, but that's not her character. She's nothing like that. And we've been dealing with each other over 7 years, and she's never done anything like that.
All right. Thank you, Mr. King. I appreciate that. It's going to be a $2,000 signature bond for the simple battery, a $1,000 signature bond through for the criminal trespass. So it's going to be a $3,000 signature bond total through pretrial, one-day anger awareness class. Since Ms. Durham herself does not, since Ms. Durham herself does not want contact, it's going to be no further contact. Stay away from the 4133 Alverson address. Ms. Durham can go back there one time with a police escort. to retrieve any belongings that she may have there, and there'll be third-party transfer of the children. No drugs, no alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. All right. Good luck to you, Mr. King.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Now, position number 17, Ms. Pedrosa.
Your Honor, this is also a conflict attorney, and we do not have a conflict attorney available today, Your Honor.
Okay. Good afternoon, Ms. Pedrosa. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we are conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes.
Ms. Pedrosa, you've been charged in case 22 CR 001098G with battery family violence. As you've heard, you have a right to have an attorney present at these proceedings. You've been assigned a conflict attorney, but unfortunately, we do not have any conflict attorneys available today. You have a right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You also have a right to proceed pro se, which means without the assistance of an attorney. If you would like the assistance of an attorney, I'll have to reschedule you until tomorrow so that we can have someone available to help you. If you would like to proceed pro se, we can do so today. Which would you prefer, Ms. Pedrosa?
I would like to proceed today.
Okay. All right. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
It's her second arrest. She was arrested on the 9th of this month. Criminal damage to property, 2nd degree. 22 CP 206516.
Did she get a bond through pretrial for that?
And it's a good bond in the amount of $2,500.
Good afternoon, Ms. Webb.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. In this case, the Fairburn Police Department responded to a domestic dispute call, and they were actually met with the defendant's siblings, who informed the officer that the defendant and her mother, Miss Maria, that's Maria, M-A-R-I-A, Cordova, C-O-R-D-O-V-A, Franco, F-R-A-N-C-O, had a physical fight after the mother took the defendant's cell phone. The officer did note that the defendant's cell phone was indeed damaged, and the siblings further informed the officer that the fight started because the defendant became physical with the mother first and grabbed the mother by her hair and on her arms. The defendant informed the officer that the altercation actually started because the mother took her tags and license plates off of her vehicle and refused to return them along with the cell phone. The officer did note that both parties had injuries while he was conducting his investigation, which evidenced that there was a physical dispute, despite the defendant stating that they were never physical. But the officer was also able to talk to the father, who was also on the scene, who also confirmed the siblings' testimony that the two did indeed have a physical fight. For those reasons, Your Honor, the state is recommending a $4,000 surety bond, no further contact with Miss Maria Cordova Franco, a stay away from the incident location at 183 Pine Street, Fairburn, Georgia, 1-day anger awareness, and no alcohol, drugs, or weapons while out on bond, Your Honor. And I hope I said $4,000 surety, excuse me, Your Honor. The reason we are making that recommendation is because, as you've heard from pretrial, the defendant was just recently released on a criminal damage to property charge on that occurred on February the 9th of this year, Your Honor. So we are concerned that she has a high risk of reoffending. Our office was not able to talk to her mother because she was also arrested in this case, but we are additionally concerned that there's enough a possibility of reoffending because there seems to be some type of ongoing quarrel going on between her and her mom in that home. And if the two are not able to resolve those issues, Your Honor, we are in firm belief that we will be right back here again from the previous charge.
Thank you. Ms. Pedrosa, do you have a need to go back to that Pine Street address?
That's where I live.
Okay, do you have somewhere to go if you're not allowed to go there?
Yes.
Okay. How old are you?
19.
All right. It's going to be $1,000 good bond. No further contact with Miss Maria Cordova Franco. Stay away from the Pine Street address. You can go back to that address on one occasion, Ms. Pedroza, with the law enforcement to retrieve any belongings that you may have there. No drugs, no alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. All right, you have any questions for me, Ms. Pedroza?
No.
All right, good luck to you, ma'am.
Your Honor, this is position 22, Mr. Nemo Williams.
There was no contact, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Good afternoon, Mr. Williams. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state court expedited accusation calendar that we are conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Good afternoon. Yes, I do.
Thank you. Mr. Williams, you've been charged in case 22 CR 001104A with battery family violence. Is there a history, Mr. Howard? Are you with me, Mr. Howard?
Oh, I didn't know I was on mute. Third arrest. Last was 2018 for suspended license. Before that was 1992. I'll put it in the chat.
Ms. Webb?
Yes, Your Honor. This incident took place on February the 25th, 2022, where East Point Police Department responded to a domestic dispute call, and they were met with the victim, Miss Demetria Moore. That's Demetria, Demetria Moore, Moore, who informed the officer that she and her child's father had an argument. She said that the defendant had been intoxicated the entire day, and she couldn't really detail or recall what made him become angry with her, as he suddenly just punched her in the face and left a visible lump on her head. The two have resided together, Your Honor, for 10 years, and they do share a 5-year-old son together, Your Honor. For those reasons, the state is recommending a $3,000 surety bond, no further contact with Ms. Demetria Moore, a stay away from the incident location, third-party contact with the party's minor child, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons while out on bond, and a one-day anger awareness. Your Honor, the state is concerned of a risk of reoffending and witness intimidation. The defendant may struggle with alcohol abuse, and the victim did inform the officer that there is a history of family violence when the defendant consumes alcohol, and the state is concerned that there is a risk of reoffending. And particularly, Your Honor, we know that when people are subject to routine or a pattern of abuse in the home, Your Honor, they often do not wish to participate in the prosecution process, Your Honor. Those are the basis for the state's recommendation today.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Webb. Ms. Kim?
Yes, Mr. William is 47 years old and he's from California. He has lived here in Georgia for 7 years and he works full-time as a warehouse supervisor. And he also has a second job as a stand-up comedian. He works night and day to support his wife. Not wife, they're not really married, but son's mother, Ms. Moore, in this case, complaining witness, and autistic son who is 5 years old. Because of his severe autism, 5 years old son has been diagnosed officially for his autism, and they have a Social Security disability check for him, and his mother, Ms. Moore, is a stay-at-home mom. She has no job and she stays home full-time, and Mr. Williams is basically who pays all the bills and who takes care of the family. So he really has to get out of the jail today to take care of his son. So we would like to request for a signature bond for the fact that this is his first violence offense, and that's it, Your Honor. Thank you.
See, is Ms. Moore on the line?
Yes, Your Honor.
Good afternoon, Ms. Moore. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. You can testify. You don't have to testify, but if you would like to say something to address the court, I'm happy to listen. If so, you'll have to raise your right hand for me and I have to swear you in, okay?
Okay.
Do you swear affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Okay, you can put your hand down. Thank you, ma'am. What would you like to tell the court?
I would like to say I would like Mr. Williams to be released. I do not mind contact. I just don't want violence. He can come back to the home. I do not fear him. I think it would be best for him to go back to work. I think it's counterproductive if he is unable to go back to work. My son, he is autistic and he is starting in-home therapy. I do not have a problem with Mr. Williams and I do not fear him. So with that being said, I do not mind cohabitating with him as long as it's nonviolent.
Has this ever happened in the past?
Not to this.
Anything further, Ms. Kim, Ms. Webb?
No, Your Honor.
Your Honor, the state would just like to notate that at the time that the police report was taken, that the victim did inform the officer that there is a history of violence in the home when the defendant drinks. So we would like for the court to take that under its consideration.
There's going to be a $5,000 signature bond through pretrial per the judge. 1-day anger awareness class. No further violent contact with Ms. Moore. No drugs, no alcohol or weapons while out on bond. I'm giving you the opportunity, Mr. Williams, but if you violate the conditions of the bond, especially the drinking condition, then the bond's going to be revoked and you're going to be right back where you are. You understand?
Absolutely, Your Honor.
All right. Good luck to you, Mr. Williams. You also, Ms. Moore.
Thank you.
Thank you, baby.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You said anger awareness?
Yes, please.
All right.
We have position number 23, Mr. Yaschuk.
Good afternoon, Mr. Yaschuk. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state court expedited accusation calendar that we are conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. You've been charged in case 22 CR 001107E with driving under the influence of alcohol less safe, fleeing or attempting to elude a police officer, erratic, improper lane change, driving on the wrong side of the road, and littering. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
Second arrest. Last was 2003 battery, cruelty in the second. It was dismissed.
Ms. Webb?
Yes, Your Honor. This incident took place on February 26th in Johns Creek, Georgia. Johns Creek police officer was conducting a business check in a local plaza at 11950 Jones Bridge Road when the officer just so happened to catch the defendant attempting to back out of a parking space in a Toyota Camry. The defendant caught the officer's attention because he backed up kind of fast and then came to a sudden stop to prevent hitting a vehicle and then proceeded to back up in a jerky manner. This caused the officer to cease the business check and proceed to follow the defendant outside of that plaza, Your Honor. He did suspect that the defendant was driving under influence because the defendant was drifting over the lanes on Abbott Bridge Road, and that's Abbott, ABBOTT Bridge Road. At that point, the officer initiated his lights. The defendant did not stop when those lights were initiated and instead proceeded to turn on Weather Vane Drive going eastbound. That's Weather Vane, WEATHERVANE Drive going eastbound and entered into a subdivision. At that point, the officer continued to follow the defendant with all emergency indicators, letting him know to stop, fully activated, and the defendant still did not pull over and proceeded to turn on Mabry Park Place. And that's Mabry Park, MABRYPARK Place. The truck came to a dead end, Your Honor, on Mabry Park Place and stopped in front of 11525 Mabry Park Place and was ordered, and the officer ordered the driver out of the vehicle, in which he did exit. The defendant was barefoot and in pajamas and was walking unsteady, and the officer noted as he became closer to the officer did note a smell of alcohol coming from his person, and as he continued to speak, the officer continued to note that smell of alcohol. His eyes were glassy at the time.
And so for those reasons, the officer did proceed to place the defendant under the arrest, asked the defendant if he would like to submit to a blood alcohol test, in which the defendant declined, and the officer was placing him under arrest based on those reasonable conclusions. Your Honor, for those reasons, the state is recommending a $3,500 surety bond for the DUI charge, $500 surety for the erratic lane change, a $1,500 surety for driving on the wrong side of the road, a $2,000 surety for fleeing, and a $500 surety for littering, totaling $8,000 surety, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons, and no driving while out on bond. Your Honor, the state is making this recommendation because we do believe that this type of behavior poses a threat to the community. Whenever you drive under the influence of the alcohol and on the wrong side of the road, Your Honor, those always pose threats to anybody who may be on the road at the time. And we are thankful that that officer just so happened to be in the plaza to be able to witness this and possibly stop any injury to the defendant or anyone else, Your Honor.
Thank you, Ms. Webb. Ms. Kim?
Yes, he is 56 years old and he has been here in Georgia for 22 years. He has a daughter and wife here in Georgia. He owns company for cabinetry, a kitchen remodeling. He has been doing that for 17 years. And we would like to request for either signature bond or the maximum $2,000 surety bond because this is his first offense. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, it's going to be $1,000 good bond for the DUI, $250 good bond for each of the remaining 4 counts, which will total a $2,000 good bond. No drugs, no alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, sir.
All right,
Thank you, Your Honor.
Sure. Your Honor, we have position number 1, Mr. Autry.
Good afternoon, Mr. Autry. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we are conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. You've been charged in case 22 CR 001085Y with theft by taking. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
In total. Last was 2016 probation violation out of Madison County. He's on probation for ag assault. I think out of Overthorpe County.
That's correct.
I got a felony theft by taking conviction, 2016, to go along with the ag assault, reckless conduct conviction. 2016 probation violation. 2016 possession of meth conviction. I got an obstruction conviction, 2015. 2015 probation violation. 2009 failure to appear that was dismissed. That's it.
Ms. Arnold?
Yes, Your Honor. The state is requesting a $2,000 surety bond for the theft by taking. A stay away from the Element Hotel located at 3491 Piedmont Road Northeast in Atlanta. No further contact with Gabrielle Coffey. Gabrielle spelled Gabrielle, Coffey spelled Coffey, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons. Your Honor, this incident happened yesterday at the Element Hotel. The defendant was seen on camera picking up the purse of Miss Coffey in the gym of the hotel. The defendant was also seen taking money out of Miss Coffey's purse. Your Honor, we do believe that the defendant will reoffend based on the fact that he has probation violations from 2015 and 2016. Ms. Pruchow has mentioned he was convicted for theft by taking and aggravated assault and 2 counts of reckless conduct in 2016. In addition, in 2015, he was convicted of obstruction. However, the original arrest was for a theft by taking, trafficking drugs, obstruction, and possession of and use of drug-related objects. We also believe the defendant is a flight risk. Although it was dismissed, he was arrested in 2009 for the failure to appear. So for these reasons, Your Honor, we are requesting the $2,000 surety with the conditions as stated. Thank you.
Stan?
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Ralph Autry is 33 years old. He has been in the Atlanta area for 2 years. Your Honor, we would request a one-time law enforcement escort to 3941 Piedmont Road, as he states that he still has belongings at that hotel and room that were left in room 35. And those belongings include cell phones, clothing, and also a bag for his clothing. Your Honor, Mr. Autry has a GED. He also completed some technical college in the area of academic achievement. He just obtained employment at Caribou Coffee. He has been there for less than 1 week. He is due at work today, and he is very concerned about losing his job if he is unable to be released. He does not have the means to make bond. He does not have any immediate family in the area to assist him with bond. Your Honor, we heard about my client's history. However, his last contact with law enforcement was in 2016. We heard a lot about violence. This is not a crime of violence. Your Honor, furthermore, he denies the allegations. He states that he was looking into the purse for the person's ID and that he took the purse to the front desk after he was unable to find any ID there. So therefore, he denies the allegations. He has ties to this community, so I do not believe that he is a flight risk, as we heard that FTA was dismissed. And again, for these reasons, I am requesting a signature bond. And if Your Honor determines that he is ineligible, then the lowest bond possible. Thank you.
All right, a $5,000 signature bond through the jail. Stay away from the Element Hotel. He can go back there on one occasion with a police escort to retrieve any belongings that he may have there. No further contact with Gabrielle Coffee, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Mr. Autry, I'm giving you the opportunity to get out, but if you don't show back up for your next court hearing, they're going to put a warrant out for you, and you're going to be right back where you are. You understand?
Absolutely, sir. Thank you.
Good luck to you, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Y'all, we now have position number 3, Mr. Camaro.
Good afternoon, Mr. Kamara. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state court expedited accusation calendar that we are conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. You've been charged in case 22 CR 001087C with possession of marijuana less than an ounce and carrying a concealed weapon. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
First.
Ms. Arnold?
Yes, Your Honor. The current bond is set at a $2,500 surety for count 1 for the possession of marijuana less than 1 ounce, and a $2,500 surety for count 2 for carrying concealed weapon. The state is requesting a $1,000 surety bond for count 1 for the possession of marijuana less than 1 ounce, and a $5,000 surety bond for count 2 for carrying a concealed weapon, for a total of a $6,000 surety bond. We are asking that there be a stay away from all MARTA and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons. Your Honor, this incident happened yesterday at the 5 Points MARTA station located at 30 Alabama Street Southwest in Atlanta. An officer observed the defendant smoking a brown paper cigarette that gave off a suspicious smell, indicating that it was marijuana. The officer also saw the contents of the cigarette contained a green leafy substance. Upon a search incident to arrest, it was discovered that the defendant was in possession of a loaded Glock 17 9mm without a permit, Your Honor. So we do believe that this is a public safety concern, and we are concerned since he was in the MARTA with citizens of Georgia with that loaded gun on his person without a permit, Your Honor. So we are concerned for the safety of those that are riding MARTA. And based just on the facts of this case, Your Honor, that is why we are requesting a $6,000 surety bond with the conditions as stated. Thank you.
So I take it that it was his gun or his firearm, but he didn't have a license to carry.
And Your Honor, I cannot say. That was not clear from the warrant, and I did not see the police report attached yet.
Yeah.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Xavier Kamara is 18 years old. He has been in the Atlanta area his entire life. He has family here, including his mom and aunts. Your Honor, we are opposed to the stay away at the 5 Points MARTA station unless there's an active suspension, as Mr. Kamara does not have any alternate means of transportation. He completed the 11th grade and he is now working on his GED at the Piedmont Technical College. He also is studying to be an auto mechanic. He is currently employed as a CNA, and he states that he takes care of his mom, who is confined to a wheelchair. Your Honor, he disputes the allegations, and at this time I am requesting a signature bond, as Mr. Kamara has never been arrested. There are no allegations of any theft or any violence toward anyone. And again, we are opposed to the stay away and would ask that you grant a signature bond. And if Your Honor determines that he is ineligible, then a bond of no more than $1,000 total. That would be $100 for the possession charge and $900 for the carrying a concealed weapon. Thank you.
Does he live on his own, Ms. Gant?
He states that Mr. Kamara, he states that he's employed and in school. Do you live on your own, Mr. Kamara?
No, ma'am.
No, Your Honor.
Does he live with his mother, or who does he live with?
With my mother, Your Honor.
Okay. All right. Anything further?
Nothing further, Your Honor.
All right, for the possession of marijuana, $500 signature bond. For the carrying a concealed weapon, a $5,000 signature bond. They're both going to be through pretrial per the judge. No drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. If MARTA doesn't have a stay away in place, I'm not gonna require that he stay away. All right, good luck to you, Mr. Kamara.
I want a cosigner.
What's your mother's name?
Sophia Powers.
Sophia. What's the last name?
Powers with an S.
Powers.
Yes, sir.
Can your mother come sign you out, Mr. Kamara?
Well, I don't think she will be able to make it.
She's in a wheelchair, Your Honor. He states that she's in a wheelchair.
Does he have any adult that can
He identified Cheyenne Taylor, that is a girlfriend.
Is she over 25?
She's 24, Your Honor.
So that would be a no. Is there anybody else that can sign you out, Mr. Kamara?
I don't have transportation with my other family involved.
All right, I'm gonna send him through the jail as opposed through the pretrial. All right, good luck to you, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Your Honor, I got position number 15, Mr. Merritt, position number 15.
Good afternoon.
I'm sorry, Your Honor, this is also a conflict attorney case.
Okay.
That we have availability.
Good afternoon, Mr. Merritt. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state court expedited accusation calendar that we are conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Merritt, you've been charged in case 22 CR 001105G with cruelty to children in the third degree, theft by taking, and simple battery family violence. Mr. Merritt, you have a right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have a right to have an attorney present at these proceedings to represent you. You've been assigned a conflict attorney. Unfortunately, we do not have a conflict attorney available today to represent you. You have one or two options. You can wait until tomorrow until we can get an attorney to represent you, or you can proceed pro se today.
I would like to proceed pro se.
All right. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
It's a second. 2012 simple battery arrest.
Ms. Webb?
Yes, Your Honor. This incident took place on February 26, 2022, when the East Point Police Department responded to a dispute call at 3568 Washington Road. And upon their arrival, they were met with the defendant, who informed the officers that he was involved in a dispute with his child's mother and some of the members in that home. His father, Mr. Dexter, that's Dexter, common spelling, Dexter, Merritt, Merritt, is the one who contacted the police. While the officers were attempting to conduct their investigation, the father came to the door and the defendant began arguing with his father again and had to be told several times by the officers to calm down and to stop. He was then placed outside of the home for another responding officer to see to. And upon interviewing all the members of the household, the defendant and the defendant's father informed the officers that they were awakened by an argument between the defendant and his girlfriend, Miss Ashley Harris, that's Ashley common spelling, Harris common spelling, who woke them up over an argument about her prescription eyeglasses. Miss Harris was attempting to leave the home and the defendant grabbed the glasses to prevent her from leaving. While Mr. Dexter was attempting to defuse the situation, the defendant turned around and punched his father in the face twice with a closed fist. The defendant's sister was also home with a friend, and the sister's name is Miss Kiana Merritt, and that's Kiana, Keyauunna Merritt, Merritt, and she too tried to diffuse the situation now between the girlfriend and the father, and she jumped on the defendant's back to get him off of the dad, and he turned around and struck her in the face twice with a closed fist. Another witness, Mr. Dion Chandler, that's Dion, Dionchandler, was also on the scene and told the officers that he heard the defendant say that he was going to kill someone. Miss Ashley Harris's eyeglasses were damaged in the shuffle, and those glasses were valued at approximately $200, Your Honor, and were not located. The couple's 2-year-old daughter was present at the scene, but because there was no one suffered any visible injuries, albeit Miss Kiana did complain of swelling and redness, the officer did not notate that or was able to see those injuries. The state is not proceeding on that cruelty to children charge, Your Honor. For those reasons, the state is recommending an $1,000 surety bond for the theft by taking, $1,500 surety for each count of simple battery, totaling $4,500 surety, a stay away from that incident location, no further contact with Ashley Harris, Dexter Merritt, or Kiana Merritt, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons while out on bond, third-party contact with a child that shared with Ms. Harris, and a one-day anger awareness. Your Honor, our office was able to make contact with Ms. Kiana Merritt, who is the sister of the defendant. She did say that she doesn't fear the defendant and does not mind sharing a home with him, as all family members do reside in that one home, Your Honor. We also spoke with his father. His father does not mind him returning to the home, Your Honor, but has informed our office that he does have an anger problem. And the sister reported to the officer who responded to this dispute, Your Honor, that the defendant has an anger problem and there has been past history of him becoming angry and irate with his family members. The officer did notate that the East Point Police Department has also responded to this location several times, although it seems that charges have never been formally filed for whatever reason at the discretion of the officers. But the officers did confirm that they have several reports of domestic violence at that incident location, Your Honor. The state is concerned with the risk of reoffending, considering those facts and witness intimidation.
Who else was arrested as well?
No one else was arrested, Your Honor. It was just the defendant.
So why is a conflict attorney needed?
Not that I know of, at least. Not as indicated by the what I have, Your Honor. And that is
okay. So what was the theft by taking?
The glasses, the prescription glasses, Ms. Harris glasses. There were damage to the glasses, and there was no report of those glasses being recovered at the scene, Your Honor.
And how much did the state request for that?
The state is requesting $1,000 surety, Your Honor. And it's $1,500 surety per count for the simple batteries.
Okay, well, one is just simple battery, and that's for who?
There were two simple battery charges, Your Honor. One for Mr. Dexter Merritt and one for Miss Kiana Merritt. He punched both of them twice in the face with a closed fist.
Okay, I have a simple battery and a simple battery family violence.
Yes, Your Honor. So we amended the charges from a simple battery because of the fact that him and Miss Kiana are siblings. We amended that charge to just a simple battery. The charge for his father, however, is a simple battery family violence, Your Honor.
right, so there's one count of theft by taking, one count of simple battery, one count of simple battery family violence, and you're now processing the cruelty to children. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
And I'll need for you to get that null pros to April Champions in with me in court today. So I'll need that null pros by the end of court so that we'll be able to process him out.
Yes, Your Honor. If Ms. Champion can just chat me her email address, I can send that right over.
Okay, well, it's April Champion at Fort Lee County.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Everybody is April. Is it APRIL or YL?
IL.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you. Do you want to chime in here, Ms. Kim?
Yes, actually, the Dexter married, we represented Dexter married and Ashley Harris. That's why it was conflict. It was not that long ago, Your Honor.
Okay, so in another situation.
Yes, sir.
All right. So again, Mr. Merritt, you have a right to remain silent. Anything you say can be used against you. I'm going to give you a signature bond, so you're not going to have to speak. So it's going to be $1,000 signature bond through pretrial for each count, which is going to make it a total of a $3,000 signature bond through pretrial. 1-day anger awareness. No further violent contact with Dexter Merritt, Ashley Harris, Kiana Merritt, and Dion Chandler. No drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. So I'm going to give you the opportunity to get out, Mr. Merritt, but I don't expect that there's going to be any further violence against your father or your sister. You understand me?
Correct. And I got something that I was trying to tell the officer, the reason why I took action.
Okay, okay. Hold on, Mr. Merritt. So you're gonna be able to have an attorney represent you next time. Today, I'm gonna advise you to remain silent, okay? Because I'm allowing you to sign your own bond out, but when you come back, you'll have a conflict attorney hopefully representing you if you qualify. And
I want a signature bond.
I gave you a signature bond, Mr. Merritt. Okay? You have any other questions for me?
No, sir.
All right. Good luck to you, Mr. Merritt.
I'm still here, my friend. Come on, Coleman. We got position number 5, Mr. Colvin, position number 5.
Good afternoon, Mr. Colvin. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state court expedited accusation calendar that we are conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Mr. Colvin, you've been charged in case 22 CR 001089D with battery substantial physical harm. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
11 total between Alabama, Georgia, and Nevada. Last arrest was 2018, theft by receiving. 2014 suspended license, NOD. 2011 simple battery family violence conviction. 2009 failure to appears. They were NOD. First offender for theft by receiving 06. 2015 Nevada possession of marijuana. That was dismissed. And 06 in Alabama running red light. Unlawful possession of a controlled substance in 2005. I wasn't sure about this one, so I didn't send it. I'll defer.
Ms. Arnold?
Yes, Your Honor. The state is requesting a $4,000 surety bond for battery substantial physical harm. A stay away from the 950 Marietta Street Northwest in Atlanta. No further contact with Heather Dye. Heather spelled Heather. Dye spelled DYE. 1-day anger awareness, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons. Your Honor, this incident happened yesterday at that Marietta Street location. Ms. Dye advised that her boyfriend and the defendant in this case came over to her apartment because they were going to see a movie together. When the defendant entered, he asked Ms. Dye if they were about to make a flip, meaning he was asking if they were going to have sex. Ms. Dye got upset because her daughter was in the room listening. She told the defendant that he was drunk and to go on. The defendant then told Ms. Dye that she looked like a B slut, a whore. Ms. Dye replied, "Your mother." As after that, the defendant punched Ms. Dye to the floor and pushed her in the forehead. When officers arrived, they observed a knot on Ms. Dye's forehead. Your Honor, we do believe that the defendant will reoffend based on the fact that he has that 2011 conviction for simple battery family violence. We are also concerned that the defendant will be a flight risk based on that 2009 FTA. So we are requesting that $4,000 surety with the conditions as stated. Your Honor, we did try to reach out to our victim in this case. However, we were not able to reach her, but we did leave a message.
Thank you. Ms. Gant?
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Terrell Colvin is 36 years old. He has been in the Atlanta area since 1989. He has significant ties, including family of aunts, cousins, and he also has 2 children here, ages 9 and 11. Your Honor, we are opposed to the stay away at 950 Marietta Southwest Street. However, I was able to make contact with Heather Day. She does not want contact with Mr. Colvin. So, Your Honor, if Your Honor is not inclined to grant a no violent contact and stay away, then I would request a one-time law enforcement escort so that Mr. Colvin may retrieve whatever belongings he may have at that Marietta Street address. Mr. Colvin has completed, has obtained a GED. He does have some college. He is in trade school. He's studying automotive body repair. He has been employed at Classic Collision. For 1 year, he paints cars for a living. Your Honor, I am requesting a signature bond on Mr. Colvin's behalf. He denies the allegations. He states that he did not strike her. This was basically a verbal altercation. Again, we are unopposed to no contact. We're unopposed to the stay away, and he is not likely to reoffend. Your Honor, we've heard that his conviction for violence was over 10 years ago. His last contact with law enforcement was in 2018 for a non-violent offense. And again, the FTA was in 2009. That's well over 10 years ago. He has had contact with the court system since then, has not failed to appear. Therefore, again, I'm asking for a signature bond. And if Your Honor determines that he is ineligible, then a bond of no more than $1,000. Thank you.
Maybe a $5,000 signature bond through pretrial, 1-day anger awareness class, stay away, or no further contact with Heather Dye, stay away from the 950 Marietta Street address. He can go back to that address on one occasion, accompanied by law enforcement to retrieve any belongings that he may have there. No drugs, no alcohol or weapons while out on bond. All right, good luck to you, Mr. Colvin.
All right. Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome.
We now have position number 9, Mr. Shahid Hakeem.
Hello, Your Honor. How are you doing? I apologize for my tiredness. I've had a long night.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Hakeem. Good afternoon to you. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we are conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Agree. I agree.
You have been charged in case 22 CR 001092Y with criminal trespass and disorderly conduct. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
13 total. Last arrest was 2019, probation violation. On probation and called for burglary, criminal attempt to commit a felony. In 2014, they gave him a 10-year sentence. 2019, simple battery, family violence, criminal trespass, family violence, conviction. 2019, another probation violation. 2016, probation violation. 2015, trespass, NOLO. 2013, trespass, conviction. That's it. And history out of Virginia, too. Hold on real quick. Yeah, the 2016 arrest in Virginia, damaging property, that was a conviction, disorderly conduct. Also, a 2016 failure to appear out of Virginia, that was dismissed. That's it.
Arnold?
Yes, Your Honor. The state is requesting a $1,500 surety for count 1 for the criminal trespass and a $2,000 surety for account 2 for the disorderly conduct for a total of a $3,500 surety. We're asking for a stay away from the Hyatt Regency Hotel located at 265 Peachtree Street in Atlanta. No further contact with William Fort, and a no drugs, alcohol, or weapons. And Fort is spelled F-O-R-T. Your Honor, this incident happened yesterday at the Hyatt Regency Hotel. The defendant went to that location to book a room on February 24th, actually. But when staff observed that the defendant had 3 machetes on his robe, on his person, they canceled his room. And they advised him that the money would be back on his card within a few days, and the defendant was asked to leave the property. The defendant since that time, the defendant continued to return asking for his money. Yesterday, when the defendant came to ask about his money and staff requested that he leave, the defendant threw a jar of dip, getting it on the hotel security, Mr. William Fort. And then when the defendant was asked to leave, he pulled out his machetes as he was walking out and told security not to follow him. Your Honor, we do believe that the defendant will reoffend, as it has been a couple of days between February 24th and yesterday, where he did return to that location after being asked several times to leave, Your Honor. In addition, he has probation violations from 2016, 20, and 2019. He also has the 2013 criminal trespass conviction. He pled no load of criminal trespass in 2015. He also pled no load of criminal trespass in 2019 and was also convicted of a simple battery. And then we are concerned that he may be a flight risk as he has the 2016 FDA. So we are requesting that $3,500 surety based on the defendant's criminal history with the conditions as stated. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Your Honor. My client is 27 years old. He has been in the Atlanta area for 25 years. Therefore, he certainly has ties to this area. Your Honor, he states that he returned to that allegation several times to obtain a refund. The hotel was supposed to credit money to his account, and that hotel never did that. And to this day, he still has not received a receipt with the barcode on it. He states that he needs that, and if Your Honor deems it appropriate, he would request a one-time law enforcement escort to return to obtain a receipt from that 265 Peachtree Street address. Mr. Shahid obtained a GED. He has some college in the area of barbering. However, my client is disabled and has been so since 2012. Therefore, he does not have the means to pay any bond at this time. And we heard about my client's history. However, this is not a crime of violence, and it is our position that his prior offenses, including criminal trespassing, are too remote. He, again, is not a flight risk. He's still on probation. His last probation violation, as I understand, is 2019. Therefore, Your Honor, given the nature of these allegations, which he denies, I am requesting a signature bond on his behalf. And if Your Honor determines that he is ineligible, then the lowest bond possible, as he does not have anything to contribute toward bond. Thank you.
And Your Honor, we would just object to him returning. He can get his refund put back on his card. There's no reason for him to return to the hotel.
All right, so it's going to be $1,000 signature bond through the jail for each count. So a $2,000 signature bond through the jail total. No further contact with William Fort, and stay away from the Hyatt Regency. He's going to have to find another way to get his refund, Ms. Gant, as opposed to having to go back to the hotel. So you understand that, Mr. Hakeem? I'm going to let you out, but you can't go back to that hotel. Otherwise, they're going to be right back where you are. You understand? Okay.
Thank you, Judge, for the $2,000 signature bond. I understand that.
Mr. Hakeem, please remain silent. The judge has ruled in your favor.
I was speaking to the judge. The judge answered me a question.
Hakeem.
The judge asked me a question. I was just responding to the judge. That's all.
Okay, but that's it.
I appreciate the $2,000 signature bond. I just would like to thank you for being reasonable and listening.
Come on.
You're welcome, Mr. Hakeem.
Your Honor, we got position number 10, Mr. Jamario Harris.
Good afternoon, Mr. Harris. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we are conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes.
Thank you. Mr. Harris, you've been charged in case 22 CR 001093A with simple battery family violence. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
10 total. 2012 arrest, weapons offense. That was a conviction. 2012 probation violation, underlying charges, burglary. 2012 simple assault, family violence, dismissed. The 2010 burglary, possession of tools conviction. 2010 battery DV NOLO. 2007 false imprisonment. It was amended to disorderly conduct conviction. And a 2000 simple battery, 2 counts, first offense. That's it.
Arnold?
Your Honor, in this case, we are requesting a $2,500 surety for the simple battery family violence. No further contact with Loretta McGee. Loretta spelled Loretta, McGee spelled McGhee. And Your Honor, please, I do apologize. I would just like to make note that this is a cross-defendant case. He's also, let me see, position number 14. Miss Loretta McGee was also arrested during this incident, and she's position 14 on the calendar. Yes, Your Honor. So no further contact with Miss McGee. A stay away from 1430 Almont Drive Southwest. Almont is spelled ALMONT in Atlanta. 1-day anger awareness and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons. Your Honor, this incident happened on February 26th of this year at the Almont Drive location. Miss Loretta McGee advised that the defendant punched her in the face, and then they both began to physically fight each other. Officers noted that they did not see marks on either party, and at that time, they were not able to determine who the primary aggressor was, so they were both arrested. Your Honor, we do believe the defendant will reoffend, as he has a 2012 arrest for a simple assault, family violence, 2012 probation violation. He also has a 2000 conviction for it's not a conviction. He was under first offender. He has 2 counts of simple battery. From 2007, he has the disorderly conduct conviction, but was arrested originally for simple assault, family violence, and false imprisonment. He also has a 2010 battery family violence, to which he pled NOLO. So we do believe that this defendant will reoffend, Your Honor, which is what we're basing our $2,500 recommendation on, with the conditions as stated. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. I am requesting a signature bond on Mr. Jamario's behalf. As we heard, the officers could not determine who was the primary aggressor. Mr. Harris denies making any physical contact whatsoever with Ms. McGee. Your Honor, Mr. Harris is 41 years old. He has been in the Atlanta area his entire life. He has one child. It's 15 years old in Georgia. We are opposed to the stay away, as the 1430 Almont Drive address is Mr. Harris's primary residence. He informed me that according to his knowledge, which we can confirm through Ms. Loretta McGee, that she moved her belongings out, or that her aunt moved her belongings out. And if Your Honor determines that she still resides at that address, I would again request that Ms. McGee stay away from that residence, as opposed to Mr. Harris. Mr. Harris completed high school. He also has a 4-year college degree in mass communications. He is gainfully employed at the City of Atlanta Watershed Department as a crew supervisor. He has, again, been in that position for 7 years. He is due back tomorrow to secure his job. Again, I am requesting a signature bond, Your Honor. And we heard about his prior history. However, I would just bring to the court's attention that in 2012, the simple assault was dismissed, and it is our position that the prior violent offenses are too remote for this court to consider. And for these reasons, Your Honor, again, I'm requesting a signature bond. If Your Honor determines that he's ineligible, then a bond of no more than $1,000. Thank you.
Ms. Gant, you confirmed through the aunt that Ms. McGee had moved her belongings out of that apartment?
No, Your Honor, I did not. He stated that, however, since Miss McGee is in custody, it is our position that Your Honor may confirm that way if the court is so inclined.
Okay. All right. Anything further?
Nothing further, Your Honor.
All right. A $3,000 signature bond through pretrial one-day anger awareness class. No further contact with Loretta McGee. No drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. Good luck to you, Mr. Harris.
Your Honor, we got position number 11, Mr. Eric Hudson, position number 11.
Good afternoon, Mr. Hudson. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state court expedited accusation calendar that we are conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. Mr. Hudson, you've been charged in case 22 CR 001094A with pedestrian in a roadway, pedestrian darting out in traffic, and pedestrian soliciting a ride. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
This is fourth arrest. Hold on. Yeah. All right, this is fourth arrest. Last arrest was back in March 2021, carrying a weapon without a valid license. 2019 obstruction, disorderly conduct, NOLO, 2019. That's it. So, well, he has an open case in state court. They're carrying a weapon without a valid license. 21 CR 001-545A.
And that's, do you know what type of a bond you got for that?
I can check it. If the state don't know offhand, I'll check it. I'll look it up.
Thank you. All right. Ms. Arnold, is there a reason that he's not getting a signature bond?
Your Honor, just because officers saw on video with the defendant being out in the roadway, darting out into traffic and soliciting business. So we are requesting in total a $2,250 surety with $750 surety for each count.
You got you gave him a $25,000 good bond.
I gave him a $25,000 good bond.
Yeah, it was at MARTA. It said no weapons, drugs, or alcohol. Stay away from all MARTA stations.
2,500 or 25,000?
It's a 25, 3 zeros. It's a good bond.
All right.
What's that?
21 CR 001-545A as an apple. Because it's under Eric Roberson. That's an alias on his booking.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Howard. Ms. Gant.
Thank you, Your Honor. I'm requesting a signature bond on Mr. Hudson's behalf. He does not have the means to pay any bond at this time. I also reached out to his mother, Tijuana Hudson. She states that she's unable to provide any assistance, and I'm asking for the signature bond based on the nature of the allegations, which he disputes. Mr. Hudson is 20 years old. He was born and raised in Atlanta. He has family here, including his mother. He completed the 11th grade, and he is working on his GED. He is employed at Flagler Force. He has been there for 1 year as a crew member. And again, for these reasons, Your Honor, I am requesting a signature bond on Mr. Hudson's behalf. Thank you.
He has a place to stay?
He does, Your Honor.
All right. Anything further, Ms. Arnold?
Nothing further, Your Honor.
All right. It's going to be $100 signature bond on each charge. So a $300 signature bond through the jail. Stay out of the roadway, Mr. Hudson.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Good luck to you, sir.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Your Honor, we got position number 13, Mr. Knapp.
That was 300 good?
300 $300 signature bond through the jail. All right, I'm sorry, tell me again, where are we?
Well, position 13, Mr. Magnet.
Okay, thank you. Good afternoon, Mr. Maxby. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we are conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes.
All right. You've been charged in case 22 CR 001100E with battery family violence. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
7 total. Last arrest was 2019, probation violation out of Henry County. 2019, possession of cocaine. It was amended, I guess, to disorderly conduct conviction. Forgery, 4th degree conviction, 2016. Criminal trespass, first offender. Possession of tools for the commission of a crime, first offender. That is from 2011. Sale of marijuana conviction, possession of cocaine with intent, 2009. Those were convictions. That's it.
Ms. Webb?
Yes, Your Honor. This incident took place on January 16, 2019, where the Atlanta Police Department responded to a domestic dispute call at Grady Hospital after the victim, Miss Ronisha Smalls, that's Ronisha RONESHA Smalls SMALLS, informed the officers that her and her child's father had an argument earlier on that evening over her wanting to leave the relationship. The dispute did not occur at the hospital, Your Honor. I just want to clarify that she went to the hospital for the injuries that were sustained from that dispute. She was actually being treated for a swollen cheek and very large swollen lips, Your Honor. She left the location where the incident location at 1639 Westwood Southwest Avenue, Atlanta, Georgia, and walked over to a friend's house somewhere on or off Beecher Road. While at the friend's house, she could see through the window the defendant walking back and forth towards the area where her home is located. She decided to leave that friend's house to get ready for work, and while she was walking eastbound on Cascade Road, she was confronted by the defendant. The two were walking and talking, sorting out some of those issues from earlier, and suddenly the defendant hit her with a closed fist to her face. She went back to that friend's house and called the police at a later time while she was at the hospital being treated for those injuries. The two do share 2 minor children together, Your Honor. Our victim advocate was able to get in contact with Ms. Smalls, and she informed our office that they do not live together and they are no longer in a relationship, but they still have those 2 minor children that they co-parent, and that they have not had any violent altercations since this incident. For those reasons, Your Honor, the state is recommending a $4,000 surety, a stay away from the 1639 Westwood Southwest Avenue, no further contact with Ms. Ronisha Smalls, third-party contact with the children, 1-day anger awareness, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons. Your Honor, we're making this recommendation largely based on the defendant's criminal history. He does have a few probation violations out of Henry County, as well as criminal trespass and possessions of tools for a crime from Fulton 2011, disorderly conduct out of Fulton from 2019. He also has a couple of open cases in Fulton County, Your Honor, out of Atlanta for possession of cocaine. Additionally, he has arrests for burglary and criminal damage to property.
This incident allegedly occurred in June of 2019.
January 16th, 2019, Your Honor.
Okay, and there's not.
That's what I have, but maybe I notated that wrong. I see it's 6/16, Your Honor. Excuse me.
Okay, that's what I have on the calendar. And he hasn't had any violence alleged since 2019. Is that right?
Correct, Your Honor. No violence.
You're on mute, Ms. Webb, so I'm not sure what you're saying.
According to the report that was received from our victim advocate, Your Honor, Ms. Smalls has not reported any additional acts of violence.
Thank you, Ms. Webb. Ms. Kim?
Yes, Your Honor. This is from 2019, and of course, they do not live together. And 1639 Westwood Avenue is actually where the defendant is currently residing right now. So that place, stay away from that location is not needed at this point. He has been here in Georgia for 20 years. And he worked as a landscape agriculture worker for 8 years. He has a strong ties to the community here in Georgia. He graduated from high school, and all those charges has nothing to do with violence. So we would like to request for signature bond. If the court is not inclined to give a signature bond, we would like to request no more than $1,000 surety bond for this. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, it's going to be a $3,000 signature bond through the jail. No further violent contact with Ms. Smalls, no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Mr. Maxby.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome.
In case you don't.
Your Honor, we got position number 20, Mr. Strickland.
Okay. Good afternoon, Mr. Strickland. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state court expedited accusation calendar that we're conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. You've been charged in case 22 CR 001103B with simple assault and criminal trespass. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
6 total. Last arrest was November 2020, probation violation. November 2020, battery family violence conviction out of Carroll County. 2019 misdemeanor possession of marijuana convictions. 2018 sale of marijuana. It just says accused.
That's it.
Yeah, he's on probation. They resentenced him for that marijuana, looks like it. In 2018, in 2019, reduced it to 5 years probation.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Webb?
Yes, Your Honor. This incident took place on February the 25th, where Atlanta Police Department responded to a trespass call at 725 Ponce and were met by allied security team members who informed the officers that the defendant climbed over a no access gate on the premises and climbed the gated stairwell. While inside the building, Your Honor, he broke a valve resulting in property damage under $500, but it caused the building pressure to drop, and the fire department received a notification of that pressure drop and had to respond. The defendant was confronted by the security and began telling the guard that he owned the building and that he was supposed to be there. And the officers, based on his behavior at the time and the testimony of the security guard, did believe that there are some MH concerns with the defendant. The defendant then became hostile towards that security guard, Mr. Taylor Bolding. That's Taylor, common spelling, Bolding, BOLDING, and attempted to push him. The guard had to bear hug him and grounded him on the floor as a restraint until police were able to arrive and assist. Your Honor, in this case, the state is recommending a $1,500 surety bond for the trespass. There is a preset bond in order at $3,500 surety for the simple assault, totaling $5,000 surety, Honor. A stay away from 725 Ponce de Leon Avenue, Atlanta, Georgia. No further contact with Mr. Taylor Bolding, and no alcohol, drugs, or weapons, and a one-day anger awareness. And Your Honor, we are making this recommendation on the consensus that we do believe that the defendant has a high risk of reoffending, considering that he did jump over a no access gate where there is plenty of signage to state that that is no access is allowed from the outside public. And because of those possible image concerns, we are concerned that the defendant will be at risk of reoffending, Your Honor.
Thank you, Ms. Kim.
Yes, he's 20 years old. And actually, I do want to request for a very short breakout for one issue about MH issue. So would that be okay, Your Honor?
That's fine, Ms. Kim. Ms. Webb, Ms. Kim, and I see Mr. Hopkins on the line. If you will put us into a breakout room, Mr. Jordan, please.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, courtroom two. We've had a discussion. It's going to be a $2,000 good bond for the simple assault, $1,000 good bond for the criminal trespass. Stay away from 725 Ponce de Leon Avenue. No further contact with Taylor Bolding, and a mental health evaluation. No drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. All right, good luck to you, Mr. Strickland.
Up next, Judge, position 18, Smith. Yes, sir.
Good afternoon, Mr. Smith. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we are conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. Mr. Smith, you've been charged in case 22 CR 0011 01J with battery family violence. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
Kendall Smith,
Yes.
4th arrest. Last was back January 2021, simple battery family violence. That's open 21 CR 000-273J. Got open simple battery family violence 20 CR 004-491J. That's it.
All right. Could you find out about those bonds for me, Mr. Howard?
All right.
Thank you. Ms. Webb?
Yes, Your Honor. This incident took place on February the 6th, 2022, where Atlanta Police Department responded to a dispute call where the victim informed the officer that the victim informed the officer that the defendant hit her with a closed fist after she deleted sexual messages in his phone and confronted him about those messages. Miss Sophia, that is Safya, Bronner, Brawner, stated that her and the defendant are in a relationship and that they have lived together for 2 years and do not share any children together, Your Honor. The officer did notate that she suffered bruising to the face. For those reasons, Your Honor, the state is recommending a $3,500 surety bond, no further contact with Miss Sophia Bronner, a stay away from the incident location at 1135 Dolphin Avenue, Southwest, apartment 12, Atlanta, Georgia. No alcohol, drugs, or weapons, and 1 day anger awareness. Your Honor, the state is making this recommendation because of those open simple battery and family violence cases that each have occurred, or all three have occurred within the past 2 years. The first dating back to 2020, Your Honor.
Thank you. Ms. Kim?
Yes, Mr. Smith is 32 years old and he's working at T-Mobile as a salesperson. Before that, he was working at Walmart. He has a stable job, and also he has volunteered to be a basketball coach for children under 16 and 10 years old. He graduated from high school, and even though he has a little bit of anxiety issues, he has been very stable, and he provides support to Ms. Broner, who I interviewed today. She indicated that she has no fear of Mr. Smith, and they are living together right now, and stay away from the 1335 Dolphin will be very detrimental to my client. And we would like to request for signature bond and no further violent contact without stay away, Your Honor. Thank you.
And Your Honor, I just want to notate that those previous incidents also involved Miss Sophia. Mr. Howard can probably confirm this, but from what I'm seeing, it appears that January 23rd, 2021 incident occurred with Miss Sophia, a similar fact pattern at the same incident location, Your Honor. So for those reasons, the state is going to ask for no further contact, stay away from that incident with the $3,500 surety bond.
All right. So apparently, I am the judge that, thank you, Mr. Howard. I am the judge that set those previous bonds. At that time, I ordered no further contact with Ms. Bronner. Apparently, there has been contact in violation of my order. So were these pretrial bonds, Mr. Howard, or were they good bonds?
You were the judge for the 2021. That was a 5,000 good bond.
5,000 good bond. All right. So I don't go down. So if I ordered a $5,000 good bond previously, and there's been a violation of my order with the same victim, it's going to be a $7,500 good bond. No further contact with Ms. Bronner. Stay away from the Dolphin Avenue number 12 address. You can go back to that address on one occasion with law enforcement to retrieve any belongings that he might have there. No drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. I get very disappointed when I order something so that this doesn't happen again, and there's a direct violation of the order within less than a year's time. So very disappointed with that, Mr. Smith. All right, anything further on Mr. Smith?
Nothing further from the state, Your Honor.
Nothing
right.
further from.
If you violate this order, Mr. Smith, this bond will be revoked.
Thank you, Your Honor. Up next, position 21, Mr. Williams.
Good afternoon, Mr. Williams. I'm Judge Eric Marlowe. This is the state court expedited accusation calendar that we're conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Williams. You've been charged in case 22 CR 001106J with reckless driving, giving false information to law enforcement, driving while license suspended or revoked, driving under the influence less safe, and obstruction of a law enforcement officer. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
I got second arrest, 2019 suspended license out of Henry County. He has an FTA warrant out of Henry County.
All right. Ms. Webb?
Resident of Tallahassee, Florida,
Okay.
according to the booking sheet.
Yes, Your Honor. This incident took place on February the 26th when Atlanta Police Department pulled the defendant over for suspecting that he was driving and operating the vehicle under the influence of alcohol. When Officer F. Jackson with the Atlanta Police Department attempted to stop the defendant attempted to flee Officer Jackson by flight. Officer Jackson was able to retrieve that information that was stated by Mr. Howard, that his license is suspended for a failure to appear. When the officers asked the defendant what his name and his date of birth was, he initially gave them a Prentice Ashley with a date of birth of February 26, 1983. And then the second time he gave the officers a Jermaine Williams with a date of birth of February the 26, 1983. For those reasons, Your Honor, the state is recommending $1,000 surety for reckless driving, $500 surety for giving false name, $1,000 surety for driving while license suspended, and a $2,000, Your Honor, there's a preset bond for $2,000 surety on the DUI charge, but we're asking for an increase to a $3,500 surety bond, Your Honor. And for the obstruction, we're asking for $1,000 surety, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons while out on bond, and no driving. Your Honor, the state does believe that the defendant is a threat to the community and has a risk of reoffending. When driving under the influence of alcohol, Your Honor, that always poses a threat to the community because people can become seriously injured, including the defendant, or worse, there can be fatalities if there happens to be a car accident, Your Honor. We're concerned with the risk of reoffending because the defendant does have a previous conviction for a license suspension. And as in this case, the defendant was still driving on a suspended license in spite of knowing that that license is suspended, Your Honor.
Thank you, Ms. Webb. Ms. Kim?
Yes, Mr. Williams is 29 years old, and as Mr. Howard said, he actually resides in Florida. He was passing by here. However, he used to live here for 13 years before he moved to Florida to take care of his parents and grandparents. He do not have children right now, and he's working full-time in Florida for a warehouse, and he graduated from high school. We actually would like to request for just same bond condition that remains the same, $5,500. That's it, Your Honor. Thank you.
Okay, so since you requested that it stay the same, I am going to leave it the same.
Thank you.
No drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, sir.
I know. Okay, position 24, Mr. Yunez.
Okay.
Yeah, hey.
I apologize. Tell me where we are again, please.
Position 24.
Okay, thank you. Good afternoon, Mr. Yunus. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state court expedited accusation calendar that we're conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video? You're on mute, courtroom two.
So that's it.
All right, so what's
No,
up?
say yes. Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes? Okay, thank you, Mr. Yunus. You've been charged in case 22 CR 001108A with criminal trespass. Is there something I need to know about this case, Ms. Kim?
No, Your Honor.
Okay.
Actually, he needs social worker services. That's the only main thing that I need to address.
Ms. Webb?
Yes, Your Honor. This incident took place on yesterday at 299 North Highland Avenue, Atlanta, Georgia, where the defendant entered the property after receiving previous warnings to stay away. That is the Inman Quarter Apartments, Your Honor. The defendant was issued 2 previous warnings by law enforcement to not return to that property. And despite of those warnings, he returned anyway. Your Honor, the state is requesting a $4,000 surety and the stay away and no alcohol, drugs, or weapons. The reasoning behind this recommendation, Your Honor, is that the defendant has several open cases for criminal trespass out of 2 that are open, one from Alpharetta and one from Milton in 2019. Additionally, Your Honor, there's an open case for burglary out of Atlanta in 2020 and theft of services from this year, Your Honor, as well as we do believe that the defendant is a flight risk as he does have an FTA out of Milton, Your Honor.
I'm sorry, Mr. Howard, was there anything to add to that?
That burglary was a conviction.
What year was that?
What did she say, 2020?
2020?
Hold on. Yeah, it was a 2020 case, 20 SC 177068. He got probation 1 year for
Okay. Ms. Kim?
Yes, Your Honor. He is 24 years old and he came from New Jersey about 1.5 years ago. And he graduated from high school successfully and he went to 1 semester of college. He still want to pursue his trade school. He has gone to community college and he's looking for some kind of financial aid to continue his education. He does need social worker services at this point since he is completely homeless. He has been homeless for 1.5 years. So there's no way that he's going to be able to pay for $4,000 surety bond. Instead of going to have that high bond, it will be helpful for him to get social worker services to help him out with housing situation and also a way to find a job at Department of Labor. So we would like to request for a signature bond for him. And if he is not inclined to, if Your Honor is not inclined to give him a signature bond, we would like to request for an alternative bond of no more than $1,000 surety, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right, it's going to be a $500 good bond, social worker, a visit, no drugs, no alcohol, no weapons while out on bond, and stay away from the 299 North Highland Avenue address. If he's unable to make bond, Ms. Kim, he's going to see me again on March 15th.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, for the SAP.
Yes.
Good luck to you, Mr. Young. Who do we have next?
That's all we have in courtroom 2, Your Honor. I do have 2 quick announcements. Position number 6 is going to be an MH reset, medical reset.
Yeah, is that going to be till tomorrow?
I guess I'll try to get them down, but
all right, so we'll just reset them for tomorrow if you can get them down. So that's reset for 3-1. What's the other announcement?
position number 12, same thing.
Okay. MH for 3-1 also. And so everyone else is at South Annex?
Everyone else is at South Annex.
All right, thank you so much. We appreciate it. Y'all have a good afternoon.
Have a good-
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
Afternoon, Officer Milton. How are you?
Fantabulous.
Well, that's great. Who do we have?
I have before you Miss Position 14, Miss Loretta McGee.
Right.
Good afternoon, Ms. McGee. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we are conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Ms. McGee, you've been charged in case 22 CR 001096A with simple battery family violence. I already heard the facts, Ms. McGee, from the previous cross defendant in the case. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
A second arrest, 2014 battery family violence. It just says bond over out of East Point. I'll look it up. Might be over there.
Yeah, was there a specific reason, Mr. Howard, that you wanted this to go through the jail as opposed to pretrial?
Let me see.
While he's getting me that,
But it's up to you.
okay, thank you. Ms. Arnold, anything to add to what I've already heard?
No, Your Honor. The state on this one, no, we are requesting a $2,500 signature bond. No further contact with Jamario Harris, spelled Jemario, a one-day anger awareness, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons.
All right. And let's see, 14. This is one that we also needed a, all right. Ms. McGee, the public defender's office is representing someone else in this case. Unfortunately, we do not have a conflict attorney to represent you today. You have a right to have an attorney present at these proceedings. You also have a right to remain silent, and anything can be used against you. So you have two options today. If you want to proceed pro se, which means on your own, then you can proceed pro se this afternoon. If you want to wait until tomorrow we can get a lawyer here to represent you, you have that option also. Which would you like to do?
Pro se.
Okay. Again, Ms. McGee, the 1430 Almont Drive, it was our understanding possibly that you've moved out or you're moving out of that location. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
All right, so it's going to be a $3,000 signature bond, which means you'll be able to sign yourself out through pretrial per the judge. One-day anger awareness class. No further contact with Jamario Harris. No drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Do you need to go back to that Almont Drive address for any belongings or anything at the present time, or do you have everything moved out?
I'm not sure if everything's out, but Your Honor, I'm disabled, so I don't have the 3,000 for the
You don't have to pay anything.
I don't have to pay anything.
No.
Okay, thank you.
It's a signature bond.
Thank you.
Okay. And
Yes, sir.
again, my question was, do you need to go back to that Almont Drive? If you do, I'll let you go back there one time with law enforcement. If you don't need to go back there, then
I'm sure if he said everything is out, if they said everything is out, it should be out. Because I haven't spoken to anyone, so.
okay. So I'm gonna allow you to go back there on one occasion, just in case
Okay.
everything isn't out. I don't know if it's out or not, to tell you the truth, Ms. McGee.
Yes, sir.
But we were just informed that you were in the process of moving out. So I'll just put in the order that you can go back there one time with law enforcement to retrieve any belongings if necessary. Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right. You have
Thank
any other?
you.
You're welcome. You have any other questions for me?
No, sir. Thank you.
All right. Good luck to you. You're welcome.
Thank you.
Next, we have position 16, Ms. Miller. Come on, Ms. Miller. No talking, please, ladies. Thank you. Excuse me, Ms. Simpson, no talking, please.
Good afternoon. I'm
Good
Judge.
afternoon.
Good afternoon. This is the state court expedited accusation calendar that we're conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes.
Thank you. You've been charged in case 22 CR 001097J with battery family violence. Ms. Miller, again, you have a right to have an attorney present at these proceedings. And you have a right to remain silent. Anything that you say can and will be used against you. Unfortunately, we do not have an attorney here to represent you today. We need a conflict attorney, and as such, you would have to proceed pro se today, which means represent yourself, or you can wait until tomorrow until we have a lawyer represent you. Which would you like to do?
Pro se.
All right. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
6 total. Start at the top. 2011 battery family violence arrest. 2017 robbery. Possession of a Schedule II controlled substance. Misdemeanor possession of marijuana. Criminal trespass. The robbery was amended to theft by taking first offender. She got first offender for the marijuana. The Schedule II possession was dismissed. She got probation for the theft by taking. 2018 criminal damage to property 2nd degree. Ag assault by strangulation. The criminal damage was amended. Trespass conviction. The battery in that arrest was dismissed. 2018 misdemeanor possession of marijuana. Possession of a Schedule IV controlled substance. 2 counts. And she's on probation for that out of Bartow County. 2020 failure to appear dismissed.
So a conviction for possession of a controlled substance, a conviction for trespass, and a conviction for theft by taking. Is that right?
Yes. And on probation.
For the
on probation for marijuana possession, theft by taking. Bartow County trespass, and possession of a Schedule IV controlled substance and marijuana.
Thank you. Ms. Webb?
Yes, Your Honor. This incident took place on February the 26th, where Atlanta Police Department responded to a dispute call at 43 Allen Temple Court, apartment 45, where they were met by the security guard who informed the officers that a fight had took place between the defendant and her mother at that apartment, and that the mother had suffered some serious injuries. The mother informed the officer that when she and her friend returned to the home, the defendant had a guest over and began making smart remarks towards her, and the two began having a verbal dispute, Your Honor, that eventually turned physical, where the two began to fight each other. The witnesses, Miss Selena Goodwin, that's Selena SELENA Goodwin, GOODWIN, and Montrez Berry, that's Montrez MONTREZ Berry, common spelling, separated them. And while they were separated, the mother called 911. And while doing so, the defendant attacked her mother and hit her in the face with a cell phone. When the officer arrived on the scene, the mother's mouth was swollen shut. And she had to be transported to Grady to be treated for her injuries. For those reasons, Your Honor, the state is requesting a $4,000 surety, no further contact with the victim, Miss Monica Miller, that's Monica common spelling, Miller common spelling, stay away from that incident location at 43 Allen Temple Court, apartment 45, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons, and a 1-day anger awareness. Your Honor, our office was able to make contact with Ms. Miller. She did inform us that she does not want any contact with the defendant, and that the incident location is her home, and that the defendant does not reside there. She did inform our office that the defendant does have some belongings that are still at that residence, and she does not mind her coming to get those things, but she does not want her to be able to be on the property or the premises without having a law enforcement to escort her. Your Honor, Ms. Miller did inform us that she would be on the Zoom call, but I have not seen her on checking again, but I do not believe she is on presently, Your Honor. The state does believe that she has a high risk of reoffending, considering that these high tense moments with her mother keep occurring, Your Honor. And we believe that she's a flight risk, considering the FTA at a Bartow from 2020. Nothing further.
All right, if Ms. Monica Miller is on the call, you'll need to unmute yourself and activate your camera if you'd like to address the court. All right, it doesn't appear that she's here. Ms. Miller, it's going to be a $5,000 signature bond through the jail. No further contact with your mother, Monica Miller. You're to stay away from the 43 Allen Temple Court, number 45 address. You can go back to that address on one occasion with law enforcement to retrieve any belongings that you have there. And no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. You have any questions for me?
No, no, sir.
All right, good luck to you, Ms. Miller.
Your Honor, is that an SOB jail?
That's correct.
Thank you. Next, we have position 19, Ms. Stenson.
And Your Honor, did you say a one-day anger awareness? I couldn't hear the last part.
No, I normally only request anger awareness when I send you to the call.
Please get up.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, who do we have?
Position 19, Ms. Miller. I'm sorry, Ms. Stenson, Your Honor.
Okay. Good afternoon, Ms. Stinson. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state court expedited accusation calendar that we are conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Ms. Stinson, you've been charged in case 22 CR 001102F with criminal trespass, family violence. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
Counted about 12 adult arrests. You got probation violations for robbery, aggravated robbery, and robbery. 19 SC 165-544. Obstruction conviction 2021, along with abandonment of dependent child. 2020 criminal damage to property, second degree arrest. 2020 probation violation for the ag battery robbery. 2018 misdemeanor possession of marijuana. 2017 tampering with evidence. It was NOD. 2017 theft by taking, giving false name. That's it. She got bench warrants. It's either bench warrants or probation warrants for these ag battery and robbery.
Okay. Ms. Webb?
Yes, Your Honor. This incident took place on December the 9th, 2020, where Atlanta Police Department responded to a domestic dispute call and were met with Mr. Robbie Harris. That's Robbie, R-O-B-B-I-E, Harris, common spelling, who informed the officers that the altercation started when the defendant came to the home to drop off the party's minor child. The defendant became agitated and began asking Mr. Harris for money, in which he refused to give to her. The defendant then proceeded to go into the kitchen, grab a knife, and began destroying Mr. Harris's clothing, and then took a brick and threw it through the bathroom window. The officer noted that though the home is well maintained, it did have signs of a dispute as there in struggle, as there's furniture displaced and ripped clothing over the home, Your Honor. In this case, the defect was contacted, but the officer did note that he had no doubt that Mr. Harris was able to fully care for that child, but considering the violent attack that occurred in the, with the child in the home, the officer did make a defects contact. Your Honor, for those reasons, we are asking for a $4,000 surety, a stay away from the incident location at 389 Woodstock Drive. That's Woodstock, common spelling, Southwest Atlanta, Georgia. Third-party contact with the party's child, no further contact with Mr. Robbie Harris, and a one-day anger awareness. Your Honor, we're making this recommendation because we are concerned with the risk of reoffending and witness intimidation. The defendant, as you heard from pretrial, has a history of violent charges that includes those open cases. The victim did inform the officer that the defendant at the time was currently out on bond for offending him in a different case, Your Honor. And at the time, there was a no contact order in place, but the defendant was bringing the child to Mr. Harris at that time. We have zero confidence that the defendant will follow any orders entered by this court based on the witness's testimony and criminal history, and believe that she will reoffend, Your Honor. And the state is also concerned with the level of violence that occurred with throwing a brick through that window, Your Honor, in the presence of the child, or at least with the child in the presence of the home, Your Honor. And the child could have been in a zone of danger while that occurred, and we're just happy that no one was hurt, Your Honor.
Have you spoken with Mr. Harris?
Your Honor, let me double check. But I believe we make an unsuccessful contact attempt, but let's see if I have any updates.
While you look for that, Ms. Kim?
Yes, Your Honor. She has been in jail for the last 1 year. Indeed, she got out of the prison after 1 year of serving. I think it was yesterday, and she just basically came from another prison to Fulton County Jail. She spent enough time to be completely staying away from Mr. Robbie Harris, who could be a co-parent. At this point, there's no contact with him. There's no need to go back to 389 Woodstock anymore. No need for stay away. No need for no further contact anymore. She is only 21 years old, and this incident happened on 2020, December 9. Only 3 months after, actually 2.5 months after she gave a birth to her baby Chase Harris. And a lot of women go through postpartum depression, and that's what she was going through. And she was easily agitated. And yet, right after that, she has been in jail. So she has 2 children right now, and she does not have any work, of course, because she was in jail for last whole year. She has a GED, and she has no money whatsoever at this point. We would like to request for a signature bond because of her financial conditions. And if that is not admissible, we would like to request for alternative bond of no more than $1,000 surety. Even that will be a huge burden to her at this point. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, it's going to be a $3,000 signature bond through the jail. No further contact with Robbie Harris. Stay away from the Woodstock Drive address. Third-party contact with the child, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank
All right.
you.
Good luck to you, Ms.
Thank you, Your Honor.
$3,000 signature bond through the jail. You're welcome, Officer Milton. Appreciate your good attitude as always.
No problem. Going back to felony now.
Have a good afternoon.
You too. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
All right, so as soon as Ms. Champion's ready, we'll go over the calendar.
Position number 1 is a $5,000 sign-on bond through the jail. Reset further notice. Position number 2 is a $3,000 bond for pretrial. Reset further notice. Position number 3 is a total of $5,500 sign-on bond through jail. Reset further notice. Position number 4, that was a $3,000 pretrial bond.
That's correct.
Reset further notice. Position number 5 was a $5,000 pretrial bond. Reset further notice. Position number 6 is going to be reset to tomorrow's calendar, 3/1. Position number 7 is a $3,000 pretrial bond. Reset further notice. Position number 8 is a total of a $3,000 pretrial bond. Reset further notice. Position number 9 is a total of a $2,000 sign-on bond through the jail. Reset further notice. Position number 10 is a $3,000 pretrial bond. Reset further notice. Position number 11 is a total of a $300 sign-on bond through the jail. Reset further notice. Position number 12 is reset to the T, 3/1. Position number 13 is a $3,000 sign-on bond through the jail. Reset further notice. Position number 14 is a $3,000 pretrial bond. Reset further notice. Position number 15 is a total of a $3,000 pretrial bond. Reset further notice. Position number 16 is a $5,000 SOB through the jail reset further notice. Position number 17 is a $1,000 good fund reset to the SAP 315. Position number 18 is a 7,500 good bond reset SAP 315. Position number 19 is a $3,000 sign-on bond through the jail reset further notice. Position number 20 is a total of a $3,000 good bond reset SAP 315. Position number 21 is a total of a 5,500 good bond reset SAP 315. Position number 22 is a $5,000 pretrial bond reset further notice. Position number 23 is a total of a $2,000 good bond reset SAP 315. Position number 24 is a $500 good bond reset SAP 315.
All right, any questions or concerns?
For Miss Perdoza, or I think I'm pronouncing it right. I'm trying to turn my camera on. What is happening? I had that it was a signature bond. Excuse me, $1,000 surety bond. Is that was I incorrect in that?
I got 1,000 good.
$1,000 good bond.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, anything else? All right, if not, I will see you all